Hey, coach, tough loss tonight. We kind of spoke earlier before the game about Dewana Bauder and how she would kind of respond to the Fever crowd. They definitely gave her a rough time, booed her every time she came into the game. How you think she kind of handled that response from the crowd?
Yeah, I think just in sports, it's kind of what you have to anticipate, right? Yeah, I thought she handled it fine. That's kind of how sports works. You go into a former home of yours, and typically, if they don't, you don't leave on your terms, the fans aren't going to be happy. Yeah, that's what they did tonight.
Looked like Alyssa Thomas was engaging with the crowd a little bit there too, between waving them on a little bit and then looked like maybe chirping some fans on the bench. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I would guess so. I mean, AT is a competitive player, just like their players. Talk to their fans. Our players are going to do the same.
Coach, just throughout the game, started off strong defensively, eventually allowing 107 points. What do you think was kind of missing throughout the game defensively?
Yeah, I mean, we had two poor quarters defensively, the second and the fourth. You're not gonna win many games when you give up 107 points. Just it's not reliable. Um, they got threes. They got to the free throw line. I think it's the most free throw attempts in a W game this year outside of a overtime game. So that was on us. We have to be a little more solid. That you're just not going to win games when you give up 32 for free throw.
Coach, there was a moment where Cole McConnell, she went down and had to go to the locker room. She eventually rejoined the team on the bench, but can you kind of tell me what happened? I don't believe she got back in the game either. Can you tell me what was going on there?
I think she did come back. I think she got sick and needed to go to the locker room. I'm not sure what happened.
Ari McDonald for the Fever, she finished with 27. Was there anything in particular that she was doing to find that success against you guys?
Yeah, I mean, she was moving. She was moving faster than we were moving tonight. She played extremely well. Got downhill. To be giving up 10 free throws to a guard like that is like we were just behind all night, and so give her credit. She had a really big night.
The fouls that just trying to like overcompensate, I guess, to an extent, and then you in a blacker you call for it, or
Yeah, I think just you're behind. They were playing downhill all night. We were slow to the ball.
Coach, we've spoke about the defensive lapses you guys had today, but there are a couple of live ball turnovers. Kind of seemed unforced. He kind of discussed that and see if that was maybe because of a lot of games recently, or just what was the reasoning behind that in your opinion?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to look at the film. 19 turnovers is the most turnovers we've had in a while, and so and some of them were unforced, like you said. Uh, and that when you turn the ball over in a game like this, those possessions are very valuable.
We'll go to Zoom. Go ahead, Jesse.
Coach, Sasu has been struggling a bit from some field since coming back from injury. Would you kind of tie that to her coming back from injury, or is there another reason maybe?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Different players find rhythm at different time. Obviously, she's not shooting it or scoring it the way she was early in the season, and that's on us to try to help her, but also for her just focusing on doing the other things also, and we'll get there. We've got time to figure it out here.
Wendy?
Good to see you. I'd like to touch on Natasha Mount and what she's been doing for the team this season. Definitely a lot of improvements. Doesn't matter if she's starting or she's coming off the bench. What have you seen her improve on most this season?
Probably her screen setting. She does a really good job as a screen setter, understanding her angles, forcing you over, and then also just her offensive rebounding, her knack for the basketball.
Aya?
Equal to 6-2. Pop lost tonight. Besides the turnovers to especially getting in foul trouble, just curious to know, how do you guys look to stay consistent on the defensive end, especially with facing the Fury next game?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of two different games. They're playing with the double big. Indiana had a ton of energy, and we're playing extremely fast. But yeah, defensively, we got to be better. To give up 107 is it's going to be, you're not going to win those games. So, we'll keep looking at film, and we got to challenge ourselves individually and a group to trust the process, and we got to get back to guard.
Last question, David.
Coach and guys talk a lot about coaching and aggression, especially Coach Joyner. How much of the 30 figure comes from Indiana for you guys not really living up to coaching aggression, and how much of that do you think that was just how they were called in the game tonight?
Yeah, really good question, David. I think it was a little both. We committed some fouls when we were in the bonus, just understanding that we were in the bonus. We gave them free throws. We were slow to some things tonight defensively, and they play fast. They played free, and we were behind.
Thanks, Nate.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
So yeah, tough loss tonight. I guess I'll start with there were a couple of plays where there were some unforced turnovers, kind of some miscommunication. Can you kind of just discuss that?
I think it was times where we got a little sped up. Times where we just weren't connected. But us just all getting back on the court together, understanding our spots, everyone's spots where we like to play. So kind of working through that, but also just we got to lock in and just be a little bit more focused on the little things, handling the physicality, and still being able to play our basketball.
You guys limited Kelsey Mitchell to 8 points tonight, but you allowed 107 points to the Fever. What do you think was missing on the defensive end?
I think it's just a sense of urgency. I think you saw in that last, maybe 2 minutes, a minute and a half, you saw our sense of urgency kind of get up there. Defensive pressure flying around. I think that's us. And we are supposed to be hanging our hats on the defensive end, so we don't want to give up 100 points. So just back to the drawing board and back to trusting each other, trusting what's behind you, and just sticking to our defensive principles.
I spoke to Coach a few times earlier today. Kind of asked him what his expectations were from this Fever crowd about DeWanna Bonner coming back for the first time. How do you think she handled playing in front of this crowd, and what was it like kind of being behind her for this game?
I think she handled it well. I don't understand, she a legend, and just all the things that she's done for the league, and just the disrespect, I can't get down with it. They booed her. She didn't say a word to the crowd. People talked some trash to her, but we had her back. But it's just very distasteful for what their fan base is doing. As far as when it comes to DB, because it's just she's just the sweetest soul. And the situation didn't work for her, and that's just not what she wanted or whatever. But it's just, we don't need all of that. It's just unnecessary.
Did you talk to her during the game, I guess, just try and pick her spirits up, or is that something you guys believe?
No, we weren't really worried. We just was just whatever. Some people said some things, but it just was whatever. He did it all night, so it was just not something that we wanted to give our energy to. But she handled it well. She handled it well.
When you say people were saying things, just fans in the stands, or?
Yeah, the fans. They booed her. Some people said some stuff about her leaving and just yelling. Yeah.
Were there any positives you can take away from the atmosphere in this arena and how that compares to the rest of the leagues?
Someone had a sign that said DB with a crown over top of it. That was the best thing about it.
Any questions for Sami?
Yeah, I have a question. I went back to my earlier question. There were a couple plays, couple of turnovers where they seemed to enforce kind of miscommunication. Can you just kind of discuss that and what kind of goes behind those unforced errors?
In general, or
Yeah, in
maybe
general.
a couple of particular ones.
Maybe in the third quarter, I believe there were the second quarter there were about 6 turnovers, 7 turnovers in that quarter alone. Just a lot of unforced errors, passes, going straight out of bounds, just kind of the miscommunication there.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's different defensive coverages and just a miscommunication, like you said, or a miscue. Or someone thinks someone's cutting, maybe they're not, or whatever it is. I think for us, we talked about slowing down, not letting them rush us or force us into anything we don't want to do. Being a little bit more intentional with getting open and all of that stuff. Without knowing exactly what you mean, that's kind of all I could pick up.
38 free throw attempts for them. I guess just stats get bumped. Just how does that happen? Is it just like sloppiness in the defensive end? Is it getting tired and then kind of trying to overcompensate? How does the team get to line up many times?
I mean, there's undoubtedly ones that we would want back where we did just stick our hand in. I think if you watch the game though, there were some that we don't know. We're not sure why it's one end and not the other in terms of just where the physicality was being loud and not. That's probably the struggle. I thought we set the tone early being physical and then the whistle sort of changed. So that's on us to make those adjustments when that happens. But yeah, I think outside of a few where it was really obvious and we stuck our hand in, I actually thought there were times we played fantastic defense and, there's a whistle at the end of it and you can't do anything about that.
Jesse on Zoom.
Could be for either of you, but you have lost 4 of your last 5 games. Are there any trends that you're kind of noticing over this stretch that's kind of led to the 4 bad losses?
Yeah, defense. We're giving up more points than we were before. And so that's got to be an area of focus for us.
Aya.
Hey guys, it's good to see you. Tep lost tonight. I'm just curious to know, how do you guys look into getting back into consistency on the defensive end, especially allowing the team to get into leader line, especially the turnovers?
Yeah, I mean, we'll watch film, but a lot of it it's going to be a gut check for a lot of us. We know we have to look in the mirror and give more. We got to pour into each other more. We got to figure it out. It's on us, the players that get on the floor, and we know we're capable of it. We saw that second half of that DC game. We know exactly what it feels like, what it looks like. It's something we've got to commit to every single night with each other, no matter the minutes, the rotation, any of it. There's no excuse for it. And so I know that we'll do that for this next part of the road trip.
Last question, David.
From another perspective, when the officials are following the game, like they are following the net, back my limit, what driver it will you?
Yeah, I mean, you saw it, I guess. They get to the free throw line, and a big part of our game is getting the rebound and running. And if we have to take the ball out or we're constantly being called for fouls, that definitely limits the way that we want to play for sure.
Makes sense.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.